The studios bought by Microsoft in the late 2010s were given a surprising amount of freedom at first. At least the role-playing veterans Obsidian didn't have to directly make predictable clones of Fallout or Pillars of Eternity, but could make the crafting game grounded, and then Pentiment, the visual novel role-playing game with a dry history backdrop. What's it about? Commissioned artist Andreas gets involved in the murder cases in Bavaria at the time of Martin Luther. In the small 2D map, the inhabitants can be questioned and locations investigated. Possibilities vary depending on the attributes Andreas is given, and that's one of its strengths. Progression is open and every decision has noticeable consequences, often subtle but still noticeable. Due to the existing time limit, you then have to strictly decide which tracks to follow, who to have lunch with for new info, or whether it pays off to stay awake longer to sneak around. And if you're not good enough, you still have to live with what you told the Inquisition, for example. What's fascinating is how quickly Pentiment adapts progression to each conversation you have and each move you make. There's a huge pool of characters in the small village that you can interact with, but it never feels like starting new quests that have nothing to do with the rest. However, there's always that old telltale feeling that the appearance of narrative freedom may be deceiving. And yes, there are hard cuts that every playthrough comes down to, regardless of your decisions. Besides, there could have been a bit more to the presentation. The setting is great, especially that the historical scenario is done so well and relatively accurately. But even though the setting would have been just right for me, I couldn't always get into it. Maybe it's because of the visuals. It didn't necessarily have to be 3D, but the game version of Pillars of the Earth, for example, immersed me more with detailed medieval backgrounds compared to the mosaic one in Pentiment, which apart from that is actually more ambitious.